that today we are able to host an open campus webinar in nuclear engineering and related nuclear subject from Tomsk Polytechnic University, Russia, for a research-based PhD degree program. This is the second open campus activity in 2022 in order to conduct a matchmaking research activity that will be a part of the degree by research program between BRIN and the host university, Tomsk Polytechnic University. Ladies and gentlemen, increasing the quantity and quality of science and technology human resources is the Indonesian government priority in realizing the quality and the competitiveness of Indonesian human resources, which is in line with the 2020 to 2024 national agenda. The need for quality of human resources is needed to strengthen the research and innovation ecosystem that can increase the adoption, mastery, culture of research and innovation in Indonesia. BRIN has established the degree by research program scheme to accelerate the number and to increase the capabilities and qualification of national science and technology human resources, not only for research institutions in Indonesia, but also for university, even industry. Different from other educational program offered, degree by research program is an educational program based on the research collaboration between BRIN and the host university. BRIN will provide prospective students and co-supervisor, as well as related research topics and funding. Yeah. Meanwhile, the host university will offer research-based formal educational programs and academic supervisor or professors. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are delighted because our university partner, Tomsk Polytechnic University, Russia, will do matchmaking with BRIN to provide more detailed information about study program and research at TPU nuclear engineering and related nuclear subjects to be used as a basis for research on PhD program in nuclear engineering. We are also very pleased nuclear and related nuclear subjects are one of the priority human resources development focuses in Indonesia. I hope that this webinar can be utilized as widely as possible, especially for BRIN's young talents who will become prospective students at TPU Russia, as well as for BRIN's researchers to collaborate and become supervisors. I also hope that the agreement between the Indonesian Nuclear Polytechnic and TPU will be officially signed in a short time to accelerate the improvement of the competence of nuclear polytechnic students to increase the nuclear engineering curricula and also to provide special training or workshop for the students. Thank you very much to our colleagues from TPU, and I do believe this is not just on initiation of our big step forward in order to strengthen research on and also human resource development, especially in the field of nuclear science, technology, and engineering in Indonesia. Thank you very much, Maima.
Thank you, Mr. Edi. The second agenda is presentation from Vice Rector for Research and Technology Transfer, Tomsk Polytechnic University, with topic the current and prospective research project of TPU. Prof. Leonid Suki, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for this invitation and for the possibility to discuss our university, Tomsk Polytechnic University, and I do really hope that our collaboration in the field of nuclear technologies, nuclear science, and all relative fields that is widely developed in Tomsk Polytechnic University and widely developed in Russia will benefit for all the parties and for all students who will have the opportunity to increase their level. And let me briefly tell you about our university and our science perspectives, and I hope you can see my screen. Okay, So our university is the oldest technical universities in eastern part of Russia, in Siberia. So last year we were 125, so years old, and we were established by the position of the last emperor of the Russian Empire, Nikolai II, and as a result, from the very beginning, we are engineering research university, developing the modern technologies for the Siberia, for the Soviet Union, for the Russia, and for all this huge eastern part of Russia and Middle Asia. That means that we are on the crossroads of different cultures, both European, Asian, Middle Asia, and this is also our geographical and cultural point. So our university is more than 1,300 academic staff. So these are people involved in teaching and learning in modern research. So we have 6 members of Russian Academy of Science among our professors, 1,400 scientists, more than 780 candidates of science. The Russian degree that the closest is the PhD, and almost 200 doctors of sciences. So this is the second Russian degree. More than 9,000 full-time students, including more than 2,300 international students from more than 50 countries. So we are international university, and we are open for all over the world, people from Asia, Latin America, Africa, Europe, our students, and we are always happy to see the people from different cultures who can give us wider ideas and wider position due to the cultural background and other interesting things. So we have more than 90 academic mobility degree agreements with different universities, and there are students who are obtaining PhD, getting PhD degree from international countries. So our education is based on the basic of the schools. So we have a school of the core engineering education for the people who are coming just after the high school to the university. And after 2 years in the school, they move to engineering schools. Engineering schools are our core departments, and this include the School of Nuclear Science and Engineering, the School of Non-Destructive Testing, School of Advanced Manufacturing Technologies, School of Computer Science and Robotics, School of Earth Science and Engineering, and School of Energy and Power Engineering. And today I will tell you about schools of non-destructive testing, Earth Science and Engineering, and Energy and Power Engineering, because they're close to the topic of nuclear technologies, nuclear science that we are talking about. Also, we have 2 research schools, so Research School of Physics and Research School of Chemistry and Biomedical Sciences. These are master and PhD schools only, so they don't have any bachelors. Engineering school have all stages, bachelors, masters, and PhD students. And these research schools are dealing with research, let me say, with research education, and School of Engineering Entrepreneurship. So our university is one of the top 10. So we are top 10 universities in Russia. In each rating, you test us. We are always in the 10s, and in many positions we are the best Russian university. For example, according to Russian ratings, we are best Russian university in the energy sciences. According to QS rating that was just several days ago, we are best Russian university in petroleum engineering. So we are Polytechnic university, and depending on the methodology of ratings, we are always the best in some field. So that's due to our education and mainly due to our research. So our R&D budget is more than 2 billion rubles, and so the half of this comes from the companies, from not only Russian companies, but also from companies abroad, due to development of technologies. I will tell you a little bit later. So if we are talking about our breakthrough research and engineering projects, so these are in the fields of, first, of course, nuclear and radiation technologies, so methods and means of robotic non-destructive testing, development of digital twins and engineering analysis of complex systems, artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies for petroleum geology and engineering, green chemistry, cleaning and disinfection of water and hydrogen, production, purification and storage technologies that are rather important in the current situation with climate and ecology. So here you can see, for example, the system of complex system of non-destructive testing developed by our university for the factory in Tomsk that deals with ultrasonic, with X-ray testing of the large parts of the oil and gas systems that are up to 10 tons of mass, and the size you can up to more than 1 meter in diameter. So this system needs to be tested, and this unique system, the only system in Russia, was developed, manufactured, and now successfully in exploitation on the system. So we are developing, starting from the very basic physics up to technologies and products that can be installed and used for the in industrial companies. That's that gives the widespread of the topics for PhD, from the basic physics, investigation of the processes, complex development, and all the spectrum from, let me say, pure fundamental research up to applied research and research and development that also contains a huge amount of applied science. So our core facilities, if you are talking about nuclear sciences, research nuclear reactor, so we are the only university in Russia who have such operating nuclear reactor, 6 megawatt power, so optimized for irradiation of the silicon, for silicon doping, optimized for radiopharmaceuticals manufacturing, for radioecology and neutron activation analysis. So these systems help us to have this, to carry out frontier research and development and training our students all over the world for the best. And the very important part is that nuclear reactor is open for international students. So the special systems were developed and special agreements were obtained with our government, and the special rooms were already in exploitation for the studying, teaching and learning of these technologies on site of the reactor. So we have technology center for additive technologies, water management center, and space flight control center. So we're also dealing with some space technologies. So let me tell you first about School of Non-Destructive Testing. So this is a rather small school with 1,000 students. So 30% of them are international students. And here you can see postgraduate students, master degree and bachelor degree. So this is mainly bachelor school. However, if you are talking about postgraduate studies, so here is photonics instrumentation, optical biotechnology, mechanical engineering, and this school was based on the research institute that was deeply involved in development of non-destructive technologies. And that's why here we have many focus areas in the tomography of different types of physics behind this tomography. So this is X-ray, betatron, so high energy photons, thermal tomography, ultrasonic tomography. So these methods and means of non-destructive testing. So, and development of software. So to analyze the complex data coming from different types of detectors and development of the systems that could be used for inspection, for non-destructive testing, for safety and security. So this is also medical instrumentation. So based on physics and radiation physics, so inter-operation radiotherapy devices and complexes, and this is our part of the Russian programs of the oncology and cancer treatment. So we are developing these systems, and our partners from Medical Research Institute for Oncology are testing them and making them. And this is also one of the important peculiarities of Tomsk region and our university, that we have the full spectrum of research on in our city. So we have Research Institute for Oncology, and we can, we and our PhD students have possibility to test the developments and to be in tight contact with radiotherapists, with oncologists and medical people who are helping to find the optimal systems, optimal ways to make the research and development more focused on the problems of the people, of the patients, and to make this research not to follow the ways that are not perspective. And that's helped us in interdisciplinary studies, and this school is very strong in this field. So many technological subsystems were developed and are offered on on different markets, including international markets, for example, betatrons. So this is compact MAV X-ray system for inspection of the up to 300 millimeters of steel, non-destructive testing. So tomographers, large size tomography systems, complex for intraoperative radiotherapy, microtomographers, radiographic complexes, and so on and so forth. These again include from the very basic research to the development of the complex system. Okay, the second school is the School of Energy and Power Engineering, who are dealing with electrical energy, with thermal energy, with waste management, and also with development of, let me say, this electrical part of any nuclear power plant, and so on and so forth. So this school is larger, so more than 1,600 students, and this school cooperates with Russian power system operator and with Russian energy system for heat power engineering technology and electrical power engineering technology, also dealing with digital electrics. So the key research focus areas include conventional energy, so improving efficiency of heat and power generation and decreasing the waste, digitalization of energy systems. In the field of prospective energy, this is new materials for autonomous power supply system, grid systems, and so on and so forth, and hydrogen energy, development of hydrogen production, and development from methane, from other carbon coating materials in order to product hydrogen and to decrease the carbon waste. Okay, so here are some systems that are developed. So this real-time all-weather dispatch simulator that helps to test energetic systems for stability, for critical situations, and to avoid blackouts. This is very important for any complex system. Fuel gas, dehumidation, technology of copper coating, and so on. And the third school I wanted to present you is the School of Earth Science and Engineering. So this school dealing with mostly with petroleum engineering, oil and gas. However, they also have the direction of geology, uranium geology, and geology of rare materials. And so this is a large school. It's almost 2,000 students, and this school helps us to be the top leader in the field of petroleum engineering due to the Petroleum Learning Center. And their science focuses are in the natural resources, in the investigation of Arctic zone, and in the environmental energy and sustainability. So, and also the important, for me, the important part of the school is that they are the first who are trying to use modern machine learning technologies, artificial intelligence for the solving of the problems of geology, geophysics, prediction of the oil stations, and so on. So they try to put these high-level mathematics and IT technologies to the, let me say, real industry that was not really ready for this, and always was developed in absolutely different ways and different methodology. So they're changing the way of industry thinking, and they are in the field of these IT technologies. Our schools are following them, trying to use also these technologies of artificial intelligence, automatic technologies, machine learning, also for nuclear science technologies field, dealing, cooperating with Rosatom, and also in the field of energy, trying to make the digital twins and so on and so forth. So thank you for your attention. That was my brief presentation of the schools and part of our science and our scientific agenda. So I will be very glad to answer the question if we have them.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Soki. And now the time for the main session. And this session will be guided by my colleague, Ms. Tita Linda, as a moderator. Ms. Tita Linda, time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Irma. Hello, do my voice is clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone, and our partner from Tomsk Polytechnic University. Greetings. I'm Tita. I will be the moderator for today's webinar sessions. I'm pleased to welcome all of you in this webinar. Maybe without further ado, we go to the next session of presentation from Dr. Vera Verkhoturova as Deputy Director of School of Nuclear Science and Engineering. To Dr. Vera, the time is yours.
Thank you very much. Our Good afternoon, everybody. But let me say that there is a question to Professor Suhih in the Q&A chat. And maybe if you do not mind, we will give an opportunity to Professor to give an answer, or we can answer this question after my presentation during the Q&A session. So the decision is up to you. Which one do you prefer?
Oh, okay. Maybe if Professor Ledit don't mind, we'll answer the question first before we move to Ms. Vera presentation.
Okay, thank you. So,
thank you for the question. I will not read it. So this is very good question, and my answer is yes. Of course, you have PhD opportunity in the project in the petroleum, geology, and engineering with artificial intelligence and machine learning. So Dr. Vera is in contact, and she will give all the contacts of the professors in this field, and you could discuss the topics, the opportunity, because in Indonesia is very interesting geology as far as I know, and this can be also very good experience for both sides. Because in Siberia we have one geology situation, in Indonesia another geology situation, and this is very important to have the common methodology of the systems, and that can be used all over the world for different situations. So yes, of course.
Thank you for Professor Lenoit for session. Maybe I will explain a little bit about how we conduct our sessions. Before we begin our webinar, I would also inform for today's session there will be two parts of from Dr. Vera Terkotelva and from Dr. Oleg Yu Dolmatov. And then the second presentation session is from Miss Tatiana, if I'm not mistaken the name, Miss Tatiana from the International Student Office, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, during the presentation, I'll a column, but I will read the question after the presentation is over. So you may write your question during the presentation, but the question will be read after the presentation. Maybe regarding maybe we can continue our session for your presentation.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. So today, after the presentation of our Vice Rector for Science, I would like we have a joint presentation with the director of our School of Nuclear Science and Engineering. And in our presentation, we would like to focus more on the research opportunities for international students in the field of nuclear science and technology. So here on the slide, you can see the research directions that are provided within the departments of our school, and all these directions are available for international students to do their research. Nuclear physics, physics of elementary particles, nuclear and hydrogen power engineering, so TIL, mathematical analysis and modeling of nuclear physics and social economical processes. On this slide, briefly, you can see the resources and facilities of our school. Till the biggest one, as already Professor Suhih mentioned, our nuclear research reactor, operating nuclear research reactor, but also we have several ion and electron accelerators, plasma installations, and analytical laboratories with the equipment which can be used both in the directions of study and research. Here, I would like to show you in more detail the research equipment and complexes that are based at our research reactor and in the laboratories of our university and are used to do the research. So the first is the complex of neutron physical research and technology in the campus of the nuclear research reactor. So here we have the equipment for nuclear doping of materials, production of radionuclides, research in the field of cryogenic radiation physics, are some practical implementation of the neutron physical investigations, and the activities that are done in the field of getting a real commercial profit from this research. Then I would like to focus more on the things that we do in the field of silicon doping technology development. As I have already said, at the facility of our nuclear research facility, we are doing the activities in the field of training, research, and production. So that is why from the very beginning, all our students, no matter bachelor degree students, master degree, or even PhD students, are involved not only in the process of academic activities, but also in the process of research and production. So here you can see the real technology of silicon doping production with some technical details of this technology. So another technology that we are proud of is the technology of medical radioisotopes production or radiopharmaceuticals production. And here on the slide, you can see the research and real production, which is done in this field at the base of our nuclear research facility. Neutron activation analysis, as already Professor Suhik mentioned, also is done at the base of our operating nuclear research facility. And here you have the examples of the particular activities, research and production activities that are done by the researchers of our university at our facility. So also we use the equipment at our nuclear research facility for radiation and environmental monitoring. So we are doing a real activities, I mean our commercial activities within the agreements of our industrial partners in this field, but also we are developing research in the field of radiation and environmental monitoring, as well as training. Here on the slide, you can see the examples of real projects. All these projects are based on the equipment and technologies that I have mentioned in the slides above. And with the use of this equipment and with the use of the results of the technologies, we develop the real projects in the field of cryogenic materials science, neutron capture therapy, electronic components database, even positron annihilation spectroscopy. So that is why all our international students, if they are interested in any of this project, can be involved in the research activities that are done within these projects. So to make these projects of a global level, we use some new complexes. And here on the slide, you can see the examples of new complexes and equipment that was obtained by our university to enhance the research and the research projects that were mentioned above. So we have experimental automated complex for doping semiconductor materials. We have digital spectrometric complex of positron spectroscopy.
Sorry, so we can see the second slide only, research directions now. So the slides are not moving, sorry.
They do not move, right? Okay, sorry, we will do it this way. Thank you. So new complexes. Here on the slide, you can see the complexes, real complexes and equipment that were obtained by our university to develop the research. So there is one more facility that we are proud of, apart from the nuclear research reactor. It is Cyclotron Complex. And here on the slide, you can see the directions of the usage of this complex. So we use it for the medical isotopes production, for training, of course, but also we use this complex to develop the technology of track membranes, obtaining track membranes for fuel cell hydrogen power engineering, and for radiation testing devices for spacecrafts. One more very prospective technology which is developed by the researchers of our engineering school is the technology of hydrogen energy. So here on the slide, you can see a short description of this technology, and the students who are interested are in the research within this field, within this technology, you are welcome to join us. Another direction, technological and research direction, which is developed by the researchers of our engineering school, is connected to the equipment and technologies for radiation and plasma processing of materials. Here on the slide, you can see the photos of the facilities and equipment that we have, and the description of the research that is done within this direction. And in the end of my presentation, I would like to show you the educational opportunities of our engineering school in the field of nuclear science and research. Here you can see the educational programs of all levels, from bachelor degree program till PhD program, and all the programs of all degree levels are based on the research, and all our students are involved in research projects from the very beginning, from the first year of their study, no matter if it is master degree program or even bachelor degree program. So all the research and training is based at the facilities that I have shown in my presentation, and we have enough researchers and research staff who speak English fluently. And that is why if you do not know Russian language, you will not meet with any problems in the field of language communication. You are welcome to do your research in English language in the field you are interested in. So but we have not only degree programs. Here on the slide, you can see the examples of short-term training programs that are also conducted at the base of our operating facilities. And if you're interested in getting a set of practical skills in a particular area, you are also welcome to join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Vera, for your presentation. I think it's very interesting about the nuclear program. Maybe next presentation is from Mr. Dolmatov.
Well, let me just comment. As I have said, we have a joint presentation with Dr. Dolmatov. Here is the only presentation, and there is one more presentation on the rules and regulations for international students of being at the campus of university, and Dr. Tatiana will be happy to show her presentation in this field.
Oh, okay. So Mr. Dolmatov has already presented same presentation as you. Maybe we can move to Ms. Tatiana about the administration process or other information according how to enroll in to Tomsk Polytechnic University. Okay, to Ms. Tatiana, and the time is yours. Sorry,
Татьяна Степановна, мы вас не слышим, вы звук не включили.
Okay, sorry, Ms. Tatiana, I think you're still on mute.
Татьяна Степановна, вы... Ага.
Okay, your microphone is already.
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see you. It's nice to hear you. My name is Tatiana. I'm a manager from the admission office. Today, I will give you a general pattern of the procedures the students should perform before their arrival at our university and upon their arrival at our university. So, first, prior to arrival at TPU, students should obtain visa. They use their visa reference number in personal account on Russia Study website in case they are granted the scholarship by Rosatom. Those who are going to pursue programs in Tomsk Polytechnic University on fee-paying basis are invited. They are emailed an invitation issued by TPU to obtain their visa. One important note: check your passport before obtaining visa. It should be valid for not less than 1.5 years with regard to the date of entry into Russia. The next step, purchasing tickets. Here, a special note: a student shall arrive at the university 1.5 months prior to the visa expiration date. It takes 1.5 months to have visa extended here in Tomsk. The second note concerning tickets and itinerary is also important. Students should send a scanned copy of the tickets to the TPU manager to book accommodation in the quarantine center, in the dormitory, and to organize a pickup service. Students should not forget that while being at home, they must legalize their educational documents and get a version of their educational document and a passport translated into Russian and notarized, stamped by the notary. Once the student is met at the airport in Tomsk by TPU officer, he gets involved in the orientation program. A team member who meets a student at the airport will take him through all the procedures. These include staying in the quarantine center. You know, due to pandemic, we have this quarantine period, which lasts 3 days. By medical insurance, it's not to break the regulation of the Russian Federation. After arrival, students take the second PCR test, and if the result is negative, they do an X-ray test and take a certificate from the therapist and check into the dormitory. And again, team members help them to do this. Registration and visa extension are mandatory to go through. Here on the slide, you can see the prices for test, medical insurance, X-ray test, medical certificate, and visa extension. A very important note is fingerprinting procedure. Students who entered Russia after the 29th of December 2021 should pass fingerprinting procedure. It's free of charge, but medical examination for this procedure costs, you can see the price on this slide. This is a general pattern. If anybody or the students have further questions, just let him feel free to write to this email.
Thank you, Ms. Tatiana, for your brief explanation about the admissions, how to enroll, how to come to Russia at this. Okay, now we just open for a discussion session. We would like to invite to all the participants who would like to ask to all the speakers. If you want to write your question, you can write your question in chat column, or you can raise your hand and we will allow you to speak. Okay. There's two questions that's already answered. From Mr. Bayu Asmis already answered by Ms. Leonid. Now for Mr. Sulistyo. Mr. Sulistyo is asking about, he really want to know about nuclear curriculums. Where can we get information? Maybe Ms. Vera or Mr. Dolmatov can share the website link or for nuclear curriculum. And he also asked about do Tomsk Polytechnic give full scholarship including living costs or just in bio-research program or bio-research program and course program?
Thank you very much. Yes, I will start answering this question, and I think that Dr. Tatiana will assist me because we can divide this question into two parts. So the first part is how to get the curricula, and the second part about the costs that are covered with the scholarship. So I will answer the first part of the question, and Dr. Tatiana will answer the second part of the question about the costs covered by the scholarship. So what concerns the curriculum are, you can send me an email or a letter to my email, and I'm printing this email in the chat now with the request to a particular curricular, bachelor degree curricular, master degree, or PhD curricular, and I will be glad to send you a response. Generally, answering this question, I can say that it's not only research, it is degree courses, bachelor degree, master degree, and PhD degree. After graduation of this course, you get a degree, but as I have said in my presentation, the training within any of this course is based at the research projects are at operating facilities. So you are getting a degree, but within the degree, you are doing your research project. Because to get a degree, you will have to defend your final research project, master thesis, PhD thesis, or bachelor research project. So here is my answer, and Dr. Tatiana will answer in more detail about the costs that are covered and not covered with the scholarship.
Okay, all right, so no. To speak about options covered by the grant, by the scholarship. First, it is program, education. Just students pursue their program free of charge. In addition, they get monthly stipend. All the degrees level, students of all the degrees level receive monthly stipend. Then next, nostrification, which means that the documents of students should be assessed by our experts, and this is free of charge. Pickup service, free of charge. Registration, free of charge. And as I've said in my presentation, fingerprinting procedure, it is also free. The options which are expected to be covered by the student, it's accommodation in the dormitory, monthly charged accommodation, visa extension. You've also seen it in one of my slides, and medical insurance, as well as visa extension. On the whole, these are the issues divided into parts, into portions, covered by the scholarship and those paid by the student. Any other questions?
Okay.
I'm through with this part of the question.
Okay. So to Mr. Sulistyo, there's a brief explanation about the programs and about the admission to at Tomsk Polytechnic University. Okay, maybe we move to the next question. There's a question from Mr. Muhammad Al-Farisi. He asking that he's already have a scholarship from Russian government, but I don't know, maybe Ms. Al-Farisi maybe can explain more detail what scholarship that he have, but he asked whether he can go involved to this program at Tomsk too, although he already have a scholarship from Russian government.
Well, thank you very much for the question. As far as I understand the issue, he already got a scholarship from the Russian government, and in this scholarship, the name of a particular university or institution in Russia is already mentioned, because the scholarship is given to get a degree in a particular university within a particular direction of study. So if in this scholarship our university is not mentioned and another Russian university is mentioned, the only way to join the program of our university is to apply for the Ministry of Science and Education with the request to correct this scholarship. Otherwise, you have to join a degree program in the university which is mentioned in your scholarship. So, Dr. Tatiana, am I right?
Yes, absolutely. You are right. So that just if a student has already been directed to some particular university, there is one more option to be transferred. And again, this is a procedure, multi-stage procedure with the to the ministry.
Oke, kepada Pak Al-Farisi, untuk programnya, kalau Bapak tertarik, Bapak harus melakukan koreksi beasiswa, Pak, menurut penjelasannya. Jadi Bapak harus mungkin ke Kedutaan Rusia untuk berkomunikasi kembali mengenai apakah beasiswa Bapak ini bisa diubah programnya kalau Bapak memang tertarik dengan program ini. Jadi itu disarankan dari Miss Vera dan Miss Tatiananya. Oke, next to all the attendee, is there any other question, or do you want to ask? Just raise your hand. I think, okay. Miss Irma, I think,
Yes.
but other, yeah. Attendee, what? Sorry.
Doesn't have any question from the attendee or the panelists from Mr. Sudi, can comment from the presentation Dr. Vera or presentation from Prof. Suki?
Yes, thank you very much, Irma. Dr. Vera and Dr. Suki, I would like to remind you that we have two big group of competencies to be developed. The first one is in relations with the nuclear reactor, and the second one with accelerator. So, in case of the program under Tomsk Polytechnic University, which one that can be developed through this collaboration for the nuclear reactor and also for the accelerator? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question, Prof. Sudi. You're absolutely right that if a student wants to get a degree and research in our university, he or she can choose both of the facilities, research reactor or accelerator, and develop the research in one of these fields. Even if a researcher, PhD student, wants to compare the technology. For example, we have a radiopharmaceuticals production both at our nuclear research reactor and at our cyclotron. If you want to do a research in the field of comparing of these two technologies, to choose the technology which is most effective for a particular situation. In this case, a student also has an opportunity to do the research at both of these facilities. If you need just one facility for your research, you will do your research at the chosen facility.
Okay, Pak Sudi, does Ms. Vera answers already enough?
Yes, if you don't mind, I would like to show you that the competencies that should be that we would like to develop. Saya bisa ini ya sebentar ya. Yeah, for example, this one for accelerator, Dr. Vera.
Yes.
That here in the groups of accelerator science that we have accelerator physics, magnet system, acceleration system. It can be done through this program, yeah. So because we would like to develop the competencies of our staffs in accelerator for this complete, I mean that for this set of competencies that can be done for the development of accelerator in Indonesia. It is, for example, in the accelerator. So it can be also, let's say, that this competence can be also developed through the collaborations with Tomsk Polytechnic. This is the list of accelerators. So maybe some of our staffs will pursue the degree in these competencies, and if we see for the reactor, for the reactor, it will be for competencies in the group of reactor core, nuclear system and component, nuclear instrumentation and control, nuclear safety, nuclear security, nuclear fuel and materials, nuclear fuel cycle and radioactive waste management, radiation technology, advanced nuclear technology, and others. So, and this just for your information that would like to develop competencies in all of these fields. Maybe you can help us to see whether these competencies can be also developed in Tomsk Polytechnic University. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me show as an example our curriculum, master degree curriculum. And as you see, all the competence that you mentioned in your slide are listed here. Are dosimetry and protection from ionizing radiation, fundamentals of nuclear fuel cycle, radiobiological basics of radiotherapy for those who are studying in the field of nuclear medicine. Then for those who are choosing reactor profile, in particular thermal hydraulics in nuclear reactors, materials of nuclear installation, thermodynamics, reactor physics, nuclear and radiation safety, turbine installations, control and safety of nuclear reactors. Then we have some practical projects that are done in the teams by the students. And here you can see the example of one team project. It is the development of technological solutions for the construction of nuclear facility. Then there is a practicum. So for those who are choosing nuclear medicine directions, there are also special courses to do. All these courses are mandatory for the students. And for nuclear medicine students, the mandatory courses are fundamentals of imaging and medicine, mathematical methods for radiological sciences, basics of pathology and oncology, clinical dosimetry, ionizing radiation installations, medical installations, treatment planning, radiochemistry with different applications. I mean, radiochemistry at the accelerating facilities in particular. Then for those who choose to do a study and research in the field of safety, security, and non-proliferation of nuclear materials, there is also a set of special courses, mandatory courses to be done, such as national and international nuclear non-proliferation safeguards, nuclear and radiation safety, methods and procedures for accounting and control of nuclear materials, security systems, information security, physical protection, basic solutions for nuclear facilities construction. It is also a team project. And of course, risk assessment and state measurements of nuclear safety. So it seems to me that all the competences that you mentioned, they are already included in the curriculum. But again, as I've already said during our previous meetings, if we have an agreement with our partner, we can add the disciplines in our curriculum by the request of our partner. So if you think that there are some competencies that are needed for your students and you do not see these competencies and disciplines in our curriculum, you can ask us to add these disciplines or modules in the curriculum, especially for your students.
Okay, Mr. Sudi, so from Ms. Vera explanation, I think it's all good. The competencies is already in the program, maybe, but if you want other competencies that we like to add it in the program, you can ask, you can put it in the agreement. We can write in agreement to complete the competencies that you needed from Tomsk University, so they can add the competency in their curriculum. Okay, next there's question from Dwi Rahayu, but she's writing it in Russian. I cannot read it?
I will translate it into English if you do not mind, and then I will try to answer the question, and maybe Dr. Dalmatov will help me. So the question is that in Russian language, there is no difference in translation. So in English language, we have two different terms, nuclear security and nuclear safety. In Russian language, both of these terms are translated with one term. And the question is that, is any difference in translation, and do we take into account this difference? And when we talk about nuclear security, do we think only about security or safety and security? So let me answer this question. Of course, in the development of our curriculum, we base on international and IAEA requirements. And you know that according to the IAEA regulations, there is a strong difference between nuclear security and nuclear safety. That is why during our training, we do divide these terms, and you can get your training and you can do your research in any of this direction, nuclear security or nuclear safety. So I see Dr. Eddie has raised his hand.
Okay. Dr. Eddie. Okay, Dr. Eddie, please.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Actually, I want to encourage our colleague in participant in this webinar, especially for the prospective student, to ask the expert right now, because it's a good chance, it's a good chance for you to discuss directly to the speakers today. And then, because it's very important, if you have some question, so you can share the question, and then the speaker will know, and everybody will know what kind of a problem they're going to ask to them. So it's better to ask the speaker. Thank you. Because I think there are a lot of questions from the participant, but I don't know how to ask you directly. So maybe you can speak in Indonesia, and then my colleague Dwi will translate in Russia or in English. So don't worry. So I believe there's a lot of questions from my colleague or participants. So please, you can ask in Indonesia or in Russia. So directly, Dwi can translate you in the Russian language. So please.
Okay, to all the participants, if you would like to ask in Indonesian or you can ask directly, it's okay. And then we will help you to translate it to Ms. Vera. Or anyone want to raise hand to ask directly to our panelists? Okay, I think
maybe yes, maybe this is the important step. What the next step, Dr. Vera? I mean, after this webinar, actually this webinar proposed to have some matchmaking about the research program between the Tomsk Polytechnic with the prospective students or the student candidate. I believe, I'm sure your presentation is quite clear for them, so that's why there's no question for this one. But what the next step after this? I mean, like you said before, in June, they have to be registered in the Tomsk Polytechnic, because the academic year will be start on the next November, something like that one. So maybe you can explain in more detail about the next step after this webinar or the matchmaking program.
Thank you very much for the question, Dr. Eddie. Very important question. And here I would like Dr. Tatiana to help me to answer this question. So, Tatiana Stepanovna, what are, for those who would like to join any of our program, educational program, what are the next steps and what are the deadlines for these steps?
So you mean to say fee-paying basis or just a quota?
So I think we should divide here, first of all, the steps and the deadlines for those who have the scholarship. and steps and deadlines for those who would like to join us on the paid basis.
The paying basis. Okay, all right. So let's start with granted students. If a student has been granted, if the Russian government and Rosatom confirmed his involvement in the study, and his personal data appear in our database, in the database of TPU, we get in touch with the students to give him a guide through all the procedures to be performed. Will assist him, and no questions should be, there will be no questions, I think. If we speak about a prospective student who is going to apply to quota, to apply to the Russian government for the next academic year, I mean 2022-23, he is to get registered on the website Russia Study. Registration is going to start in December. Last year, if nothing changes, last year the period of application period lasted from September till December. It's for the next academic year. Next, the link to the website can be provided to anybody. It just you've seen my email. You can send an email. You can make a request, and I will just explain it in more detail. Next, for students who are going to pay, the admission campaign has just started in February, and now everyone is free to apply. Again, you can use my email to send an application. I will provide with all the links to see first the application form in an electronic form to fill out, the link to the program, to all the programs available in Tomsk Polytechnic University, in nuclear programs in particular. We will provide the link to see the admission policy, which explains what a student needs to do. So you can, any prospective student can apply right now.
Thank you, Ms. Tatiana. So any prospective student can apply right now through the email or through the website, yes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay, so we may visit the website to enroll, to see the step, what to do or what to prepare for enrolling at TPU. Okay, thank you, Ms. Tatiana. Okay.
Yes, I have printed an email contact of Dr. Tatiana in our chat. You are welcome to send her any request or application form concerning the applying for any degree program in our university, or you can contact to her if you need to clarify the deadlines or procedures, anything which is connected to the admission procedures. Also, I see a question in our chat about exchange programs in our university. So I can answer shortly, yes, we do have an exchange, a set of exchange programs in our university. But as far as I know, to start the exchange activities, we have to have an agreement with a particular university, our partner university, and under this agreement, the students from both universities, I mean from your side and from our side, can participate in the exchange programs.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Welcome.
There's a question from Mr. Yuda Haribuana. He's asking, is there a program at TPU that concerning for archaeology, especially at geoarchaeology science? Is there any program at TPU? I'm sorry, maybe I will repeat the question. Is there any program at TPU that specialize at archaeology science, especially maybe for more specific is geoarchaeology?
Yes, because that was my answer. We do not have a degree program in archaeology because we are engineering university. But in the engineering school of earth sciences, we have a program which is dealing with geoarchaeological research. So we can provide the students with archaeological application of our engineering technologies, because you know that we can use nuclear and radiation technologies in the field of archaeology. We can use geotechnologies in the field of archaeology. So if you are interested in application of engineering technologies for the needs of archaeology, yes, we do have such programs and research.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So Mr. Yuda said there's actually opportunity that program that may be applied on archaeology field, but it's more like geoarchaeology technology, more not the pure archaeology, just like in social science. Maybe there's a different field, but maybe it's applied and applicable. Okay, is there any other question from the participant, or do you want to ask directly? You can raise your hand. Or there's a comment from panelists, from our panelists. Oh, I see that Mr. Zainal. Okay, Mr. Zainal, the time is yours. You can unmute the Zoom, please. Hello, Mr. Zainal, can you hear me?
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, that's good. Okay, hello, Dr. Vera and Dr. Tatiana, Pak Edi, Pak Suti, and Professor Dolmatov. So, yeah, thank you. That's my question about the student exchange programs, Dr. Vera, because we have that kind of cooperation between Polytechnic and other Polytechnic in the abroad, but if you said that we have to have like a further discussion about the curriculum, since we have do that kind of credit exchange, I think. But in case of I see. What if we offer only the activity for our students in one semester, for example, or 3 months, for example, to do like internship in your university or in the industry? So can the student got the credit during their internship period? The scheme of internship may be like fully in the laboratory, or also partially industry and laboratory, or maybe fully in industry. Okay, that's my question, Dr. Sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zainal. So my answer is that the exchange program can be done in a different way. Our practical internship is also can be in the form of exchange activity. So if you want your students to get practical internship at the facility site, it can be under the agreement of academic exchange program. The only thing is that we will provide your students with internship at our facility, at our nuclear research reactor or cyclotron if they need, because we are not able to provide academic exchange students with the internship at industrial facility, because an opportunity to get industrial internship is given to the degree students only. If a student is doing bachelor degree or master degree, he or she has, as a part of curriculum, a mandatory industrial internship at industrial plant or industrial enterprise. For academic exchange students, the internship at the facility in the university is available for sure, but not industrial one.
Okay, Mr. Zainal?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. How about
Thanks for the answer, Dr. Vera.
Welcome.
Okay, we still have time for discussion. Any other person, any other participant who want to ask? Maybe if no other question, we can close this session. Okay, okay. Oh, okay. There's question again from Miss Dwi Rahayu. Okay. I leave to you, Miss Vera.
Yes, thank you very much, because it is very important question, especially for the applicants to PhD program. So the answer is no, it's not obligatory. So I will translate firstly. The question is, if a candidate wants to apply for PhD program, should this candidate find a future research supervisor before applying for the program? Is it obligatory, or it will be a decision of the university who will be the research supervisor for this particular student? So very important and very good question. Thank you very much for this question. Let me clarify. If you want to do your PhD in our university in the field of nuclear science and technology, it is welcome to send us your CV before entering to the program, and it is welcome to show your research background in this CV, because if we see your research background and your expectations concerning your future research, it will help us to find the research supervisor for you, but it will be only our proposal. After coming to the program, we meet with a PhD student and propose the research supervisor who seems to be suitable according to the research background of the student. But the final decision on the choice of a research supervisor is upon the student. University only propose the candidates to be a research supervisor for the student. sometimes it happens that our PhD students at the beginning of their study have the meetings with 2, 3, or even 4 possible research supervisors to discuss their research collaboration. And only after these meetings, a student can make a final choice on who will be his or her research supervisor. So that is why I can say that a choice of research supervisor, it is, you know, it is a collaboration between a student, the university, and a future research supervisor, but the final decision is upon a student. University never dictates to the student who will be his or her research supervisor. We can just propose.
Just basically, we need to add the professor is mandatory. Where we need to have our professor requirement about the professor first for the enrolling requirement at Tomsk University. Okay. Maybe Miss Dwi and Miss
Yes,
Dwi Rahayu is
Dr.
enough to answer, or do you have another question? Or any other participant? If no, maybe we can close the session.
Yes, just a small question for the sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Eddie, yes.
Can I add some? Yeah, can I add something here to Dr. Vera? Yes, Dr. Vera. Like we discussed before, for the supervisor, there should be two supervisor. One supervisor coming from the Tomsk Polytechnic, and the second one is the co-supervisor coming from the BRIN for the students. So
exactly, Dr. Eddie. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So it means that after, after this webinar, the candidate student can discuss directly for the supervisor, or they just send the curriculum in the BRIN for the related subject, and then they will apply to the Tomsk Polytechnic, and then the university will find the exactly supervisor or professor for the student candidate.
I think these activities can be done in parallel. The candidates can apply for the program and send me to my email their resumes, their CVs, with the description of the research activities that were already done by them and the research that they want to do in our university are within their PhD course. So, and we will start to discuss the candidates of research supervisors based on their expectations, I mean the students' expectations.
Okay, so it means still enough time, because in June they have to apply for the registration to Tomsk Polytechnic.
Just let me clarify, Татьяна Степановна, тем, кто на платное хочет податься, у них же дедлайн в июне, правильно?
Ой, нет, для иностранных студентов нет, да, там август, еще пока точно неизвестны цифры, но до середины августа точно.
Dr. Tatiana is clarifying now that if we're thinking about paid basis for the students, they can apply till the August, not even June. So it is pretty enough time. So so for this scholarship students, the students who are covered with the scholarship, the deadline is much earlier.
Yeah.
But for so-called paid students, the deadline is by August.
By August, that's right.
By
And
August,
then
yes.
you said the $3,000 is for 1 year for the 1 semester. The tuition
Excuse
fee.
me?
The tuition fee for the students is the $3,000. Is it for 1 year or for 1 semester?
Ага, here it's better to ask доктор Долматов. Олег Юрьевич, у нас в аспирантуре платное обучение примерно в год сколько стоит? Мы говорили примерно около 300 тысяч, это же в год обучения,
Это
да?
примерно уровень магистратуры.
Это в год, это же не в семестр, это в год,
Год,
правильно?
год,
Да.
год, год, ценности в год.
Да. Yes, Dr. Dalmatov is saying that are approximately 300 rubles. It is per year, not per semester. It is for the whole year of study.
300,000. 300,000.
Yeah, 300,000. Yes, thank you.
300,000.
That is for the whole program, yeah, for the whole program part. Yes, it's for the whole program, yeah. It's not for 1 year, but the whole program for the.
No. It is for no. It is for 1 academic year, not for the whole program. For 1 academic year.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. So, and then the last question is about the quota for the student. How many students can be accepted for the Tomsk Polytechnic, especially for the nuclear engineering schools, melakukan? Because we don't know. After this webinar, there are many candidate students very interesting to join with the Tomsk Polytechnic, and then we just want to know about the estimated number or quota for the students from our BRIN. Yes.
Thank you very much, because it is also a very important question to the students. But here I have to say that the decision on allocating a particular number of the scholarships is done by our Ministry of Science and Higher Education, and the university usually does not know about the number of the scholarships that are allocated to this or that particular country, because we are informed only at the final stage of this process. We know only how many students are already given the scholarship, because we see these students in our university database. How many scholarships are allocated at the beginning of this process to the country, usually we do not know. As far as I know, this year, Rosatom has given 3 scholarships to the Indonesian students who would like to apply for nuclear degree programs. But again, I am not sure.
Yeah. Sorry, Dr. Vera. I mean, quota for the paid students from BRIN. How many students can you accept for this program?
In this regard, a number is not limited.
Okay.
So all the students, PhD students, I mean, who are interested in doing their research here in TPU are welcomed to the course. The only limitation can be connected to a particular supervisor, because there is a risk that the research that a student wants to do in the university is not possible to be done just because we do not have a supervisor for this research. If we have the supervisor for the research that a student wants to conduct, there is no any other limitation.
Okay, great. Thank you very much indeed.
Welcome.
Yeah. I think maybe the team from the Management Talenta will also can asking something to the Tomsk Polytechnic.
So far, there's no question, sir. Okay, to all the participants, maybe also from talent management director, maybe want to ask something to panelists.
Pak Atur sudah join, memang?
Belum, Pak. Belum ada. Belum ada, Pak.
Pak Sudi mungkin bisa nanya sesuatu sambil nunggu Pak Atur, mau selesai sudah nih acaranya. Ya.
Yang terkait dengan DBR ya Pak. When it's regarding to the degree by research, Dr. Fira, I would like to ask your confirmations regarding to the implementation of degree by research. After we have some discussion before, so that we can continue. We can proceed with the cooperation for implementation of degree by research. Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yes. So in this August, then if there are some candidates or participants from Indonesia that have interest to study in TOM, then they can go and with degree by research.
Right.
Yeah. Regarding to the documentations or you will send us or for the contract. I mean for the memorandum of understanding.
Just let me clarify. I have already sent a project of MOU to Dr. Eddie, and if you need to get the projects of curriculums in addition to this MOU, we can send you these curriculums, the projects of curriculums, to see the list of the disciplines that will be given to the students at the bachelor degree level, at master degree level, and at PhD level. So we can do it.
Okay, so that through this webinar, it is already, I mean that we can say that the degree by research can be done through this program. So I think we are here in BRIN in itself will make a coordinations with the research organization for having candidates and for having their research project or research topics, and then it can be done through email or through other, for example, webinar like this one. Should we have another meeting to give opportunity for our colleagues to have consultations with the professors in Tomsk University?
I think I would like to propose to work in another way. So firstly, we would be glad to get the list of the candidates, those who would like to take a degree here in TPU, with short CVs of these candidates.
Okay.
Not general CV, but research CV.
Okay.
Research CV. We will look through these CVs, and here in the university, we will establish a list of the possible research supervisors for the students. And as soon as we get a feedback from the supervisors that they agree to work with these candidates, we can organize a new webinar where the candidates will have an opportunity to talk directly to their research supervisors. But firstly, we need an information from your side to choose these research supervisors.
Okay. So after this webinar, then we have to prepare the list of candidates from our side with their research CVs, and we will send to you, and then you will find supervisor from Tomsk Polytechnic. Then in our side, we will find co-supervisor, and also maybe we will propose also the research topics from our side. Then maybe after having this list, and then we can discuss, or we can make another Zoom meeting like this webinar to give them platform for consultations with the supervisor.
Right, Dr. Sudi, agree.
Ya, oke, Mbak Tita, Mbak Irma, nanti dicatat ya nanti.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think it's okay. The first thing that we have for now is that you agree for the degree research, and then in our side we will find candidates with a list of candidates with their research CVs and also topics of research from us, and then we will send you. And then after that, we will have another meeting for allowing them have consultations with the supervisor in Tomsk University. Okay.
Okay. Maybe a little bit information about when we should inform you about the list of participants that we will to enroll to TPU.
Yeah. So if the program will be held in August, then we have to send you 1 month or 2 months before that.
Before the August, before the deadline.
Well, you see, just let me clarify the issue concerning the deadlines. The start of the program is standard for all Russian universities. It is the 1st of September. The 1st of September. By the August, there is an application process. So that is why the ultimate deadline is the 1st of September. So, I mean, the process of choosing the candidates, the research topics. So usually this process takes some time from our side, because we have to analyze all research CVs of the candidates. We have to talk to all our scientists and researchers. We have to get their agreement to be the research supervisor, or sometimes disagreement for some reasons. So usually from our side, it takes at least 1 month. At least 1 month. That is why there are no strong deadlines. The only deadline, the 1st of September, the start of the program. But it seems to me that if we make all these negotiating procedures as soon as possible, it will be beneficial for both sides, for you and for us.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Maybe
Mhm.
we need to collect our own information as soon as possible, and we need to establish our agreement first before we step to the next level.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe this is the last question from Gede Suka. The question is, does TPU have a research program related to geology or uranium resources, and does TPU accept postdoctoral programs?
Yes, we do have the programs in the field of geology and uranium resources. I'm not sure about the language of these programs. I mean, it is Russian language program or English language? English, Tatiana is, no, Russian language, right? So
Russian language only.
only Russian language.
The only program that is provided in English. All the other programs are in Russian.
In Russian. So we have such program, but the program is in Russian. Postdoctoral programs, generally we have postdoctoral programs, but again, postdoctoral programs are available in the particular research fields. So if you are interested in a particular postdoctoral program, you are welcome to send me an email with the description of the research field which is interesting for you in postdoctoral direction.
Okay, there's possibility in postdoctoral program. Okay, I think it's already 3 p.m. in
Sebentar,
Jakarta.
maaf, Mbak Tita, sebentar, maaf.
Yes.
Itu untuk postdoctoral, maaf, sorry, Dr. Fira, I would like to say in bahasa Indonesia first. Ini yang dari postdoctoral kan kita tidak punya program untuk mengirimkan orang kita postdoctoral di luar kan? Karena kita mengundang orang
Ya,
dari.
tidak ada Pak Sudi.
Nggak ada, tapi itu di open aja sih kayaknya.
Enggak, maksudnya kan kita membiayai orang postdoktoral dari luar ke tempat kita kan, yang ada program kita. Ya, so jadi harus nanti teman-teman yang pertanyaan seperti Pak Gede ini harus diklarifikasi. Ini klarifikasinya ya, bahwa BRIN tidak menyediakan anggaran untuk mengirim postdoktoral keluar, tapi kita justru menerima orang postdoktoral dari luar. Pembiayaannya seperti itu, gitu ya. Oke.
Okay, untuk Mr. Gede, there is confirmation. Okay, you're welcome. I hope you're pleased with the answer. Okay, now it's already 3 p.m. in Jakarta, and maybe we shall close the session now because it's already evening, and now our working hour is until 3 p.m. Or maybe I will give just one more chance if there any participant wants to ask, but if there's no other question or no more participant who would like to ask directly to the panelists, I will close the session for today. Okay, from the participant, is there any other question or no? Gimana Pak Sudi, kita sudah saja?
Sebentar nih Pak Deputi ini lagi kepental tadi, mau coba masuk sebentar, saya tanyakan ke beliau sebentar ya.
Oke, sorry Ms. Vera, we wait for Mr. Edi for closing speech.
Sebentar Pak Edi, sebentar.
I think there's technical problem with Mr. Edi.
Right, sorry, some problem with my connection here. Okay,
Udah, oke.
Okay, Mr. Eddie.
Yep.
I think for today's session is already finished. It's already 3 p.m. in
Right.
Jakarta time.
Yep.
Yeah. Before we close the webinar today, maybe some closing speech from you to be delivered. Okay,
Right.
Mr. Eddie, the time is yours.
Yes. Okay. First, I would like to thank you to Professor Sophie and also Dr. Vera, Dr. Demata, and also Dr. Tatnia, for the very important presentation for us today. And then I think we are going forward after this, and then if you don't mind, we can have some Zoom meeting directly for discuss about in more detail about the, of course, about the payment, how the payment from BRIN to the Tomsk Polytechnic, if our student will be accepted to study in Tomsk Polytechnic. And second one, I believe after your presentation, there are many of students will be interested because not just only for the nuclear science engineering, but also for the NDT and then some application, for the geology and then for archaeology. So I think we can also cover about the nuclear application discussion. And also, I believe that Tomsk Polytechnic will be also open for this kind of subject. Yes, I think that's overall. Again, thank you very much for the time and also presentation for today. And again, I would like to invite the candidate of the students, please, as soon as possible, to complete your document, for your application. The time is not much, so we have to start right now, to prepare the documents, and then we can collect all together, and then we can send to Dr. Vera about the students. Thank you very much, Dr. Vera and Dr. Tantia.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
ladies and gentlemen, so that's for today webinar session. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, all the participants. So that's it for today's webinar session. I would like to thank you for all the panelists and all the participants, and give one applause to all of you who's already presented and participate in this webinar session. Okay, before we close this webinar, I would like to thank you to the speakers for the interesting and comprehensive information about the program, especially in nuclear program, and the opportunity and about the opportunity, process, and requirement about how to enroll as international student at Tomsk Polytechnic University. Maybe not all, only at nuclear discipline, but also other science and technology discipline that may be collaboration between Tomsk and BRIN. Okay, and next I would like to thank you to Mr. Edi Giri Prahmaputra as our acting deputy chairman, and also Mr. Sudi and Mr. Zainal Arif for supporting the webinars today. And I would like to thank you to all the participants already present today. And I hope today's seminar will give us much more information about how to enroll at Tomsk University, and how about collaboration that will be done for between Tomsk and BRIN. And then, last but not least, thank you for all. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the explanation. I'd like to apologize if there are any mistakes during webinar. Thank you, and I'm Tita. See you next Open Campus webinar. See you next time. Good day and spasiba.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Okay, see you then.
See you then. Thank you. Terima kasih.
See you again. Mbak Irma mau nangis.
Mbak Tita, Mbak Irma, nanti tolong dicatat tadi yang terakhir tadi, yang list yang harus segera disiapkan.
Oke.
List. Jadi nanti tolong bisa segera di
Ya, kami sudah mau men-share Google Form, namun memang Google Form itu belum disetujui sama Pak Arthur terkait yang tertarik masuk ke Tomsk. Jadi siapa yang tadi mau masuk Tomsk atau yang tertarik, nanti
ya, yang penting pemberitahuan dulu untuk mereka menyiapkan yang apa tadi CV-nya ya terkait dengan risetnya ya, yang terkait risetnya tadi.
Pokoknya research CV itu isinya tentang riset yang mereka sudah lakukan aja kan ya, atau yang sedang
terkait riset yang mereka sudah lakukan, mungkin publikasi-publikasi dan sebagainya.
Contekan.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Sudi.
Ya, oke, terima kasih ya. Oke.
Belum di stop recordingnya. Ya nih, grogi contekannya nggak kepake.
Udah di stop belum YouTube-nya?
Boleh. Mr. Brin, can you stop the recording, please?
Thank you, Tita, Mbak Tita. Keren. Komentarnya aja kalau
gue blank. Aduh. Thank you, Mbak Irma. See you. Do we need to end this?